Area 51 is located in the middle of the dry deserts of Nevada, surrounded by miles of empty land. It is bordered by the Nevada Testing Site, or the NTS, which tests nuclear bombs. It's also bordered by Groom Lake. It's located 100 miles away from Las Vegas, and the nearest town is Rachel, which is 25 miles away. Rachel is a very small town, populated with less than 100 people, all of whom have gotten used to sonic booms and light shows at 2 in the morning. Fun fact: the owners of the restaurant and bar Little Alien were able to make a business selling merchandise that capitalizes on aliens and other conspiracies to tourists. How does Area 51 deal with trespassers? Our characters are Warren Perks, UFO investigator, the film crew, Camo Dudes, and Carrie Lee, County Sheriff. On October 2012, a film crew led by Warren Perks entered the rear gate of Area 51 in plain view. From the very start, security guards, also known as Camo Dudes, were watching them. Camo Dudes are civilians hired by Area 51 who are instructed to passively watch over any people who trespass over the borders. The crew started to film, hoping to catch something unusual on camera. After filming for half an hour, one of the crew members knocked on the door of the security building. 8 guards carrying M16 assault rifles came out of the building and, according to the crew, forced them to lie on their backs at gunpoint for 3 hours until the Lincoln County Sheriff arrived. They also confiscated their cell phones, wallets, and film equipment. Warren Perks said that one of the guards stated, "Son, we could make you disappear and your body will never be found." But the sheriff, Carrie Lee, says that it was more or less 30 minutes before his officers arrived at the scene. He said it was a ridiculous accusation because they don't even take felons out of stolen vehicles and lay them on the ground for 3 hours. Nevertheless, the crew still trespassed and therefore committed a crime. Instead of arresting them, the sheriff issued citations or summons before a crew before the judge. In the end, Warren apologized, saying that his curiosity shouldn't have taken precedence in the situation. They had to pay a $600 fine, and after a few months, their tapes were returned. The footage taken at Area 51, however, was wiped clean.
Area 51 is located in an isolated area in southern Nevada. Although not much is known about it, it's a highly classified military and defense base. Area 51 was created in 1955 under President Eisenhower as a Cold War measure to test and develop new weapons and aircraft, such as spy planes and stealth fighters. However, the most famous project that had taken place at Area 51 was the creation of the U-2 fighter plane, which could reach high altitudes and was used to spy over the Soviet Union. It was designed by Clarence Johnson and could reach up to 70,000 feet. As explanation for such advanced technology, many speculated that planes like U-2 and Lockheed A-12 were products of reversed engineering, in which original machines are acquired by the engineer and then carefully taken apart and analyzed to create the same technology or an improved version of it. In the case of Area 51, many believe that the government has reverse-engineered spacecraft to create more aerodynamic planes. It's said that the spaceship that crashed at Roswell, New Mexico was taken to Area 51 and that it was reverse-engineered to create better aerial technology. Many believe that reverse engineering of extraterrestrial spacecraft has accounted for the rapid advancements of technology today. Area 51 is notorious for UFO spottings and aliens. In the 1980s, scientist Bob Lazar attested to this conspiracy, claiming to have worked on 9 extraterrestrial spacecraft at S4, one of Area 51's other facilities. He also admitted that the aliens, whose ships the base worked on, had been visiting this planet for centuries. In an interview, he explained in detail the specifications of the hovercraft he secretly worked on. Most notable was the fact that the pilot chairs were perfectly sized for children. Supposedly, there was an energy source, an unknown element 115 that would produce anti-gravity effects too. The upper level of the ship could only fit beings about 4 feet or shorter, eliminating the possibility that the pilots were adult humans. The government refused to acknowledge any of Lazar's controversial claims. In the 1990s, President Bill Clinton declared in an official document that Area 51 was exempt from federal, state, international, and local hazardous waste laws that might require disclosure of classified information. He stated that this disclosure would be harmful to national security. In other words, lawyers or any other contractors would not be able to sue the base for any of the problems that it would cause. The US government in general has provided little information about this military base, only recognizing it as a restricted area. In addition, Area 51 doesn't appear on US government maps or on GPS. So what's so interesting about Area 51? It's surrounded by the conspiracy that the government has held extraterrestrial beings and their technology. This in turn would allow the government to experiment with them and use reverse engineering to create better technology for humans. The government has been quite overprotective in matters dealing with this strange area, often dismissing the topic when it is brought up. Workers at Area 51 are sworn to secrecy and are transported to work in a regular airplane. The government denied the existence of this military base until Soviet spy planes during the Cold War confirmed it. US Corona spy satellite images of the base were even destroyed in government archives. Not even presidents know much about it. When Clinton was in office, he asked his friend Webster Hubbell to investigate it, although it was a futile attempt. Many people intrigued by UFOs have made attempts to see what happens at Area 51, only to be driven away.
The Roswell UFO incident took place on July 7, 1947. The most popular theory surrounding this occurrence is the claim that spacecraft containing extraterrestrial life forms had crashed on the ranch in Roswell, New Mexico. Several other claims then surfaced. The United States Armed Forces says that what was recovered near Roswell was just debris from a surveillance balloon that was part of another top-secret classified program called Project Mogul. Other people, UFO theory supporters, assert that an alien craft was found, its occupants were captured, and the military engaged in a massive cover-up of this finding. Ranch manager Mac Brazel discovered the crashed object. The debris was then recovered by Major Jesse Marshall, an officer of the 509th Bomb Group Intelligence Office. So now, here come the conspiracy theories. 1. People believe that actual alien life forms were found and brought to the highly protected military base Area 51 in Nevada for testing and research, and that there was a massive government conspiracy to hide the story from the general public. The United States government refused to even admit the existence of Area 51 until September 29, 1995, thus making it the perfect place to study alien life in secret. Number 2. Other people believe that what was recovered from the Roswell incident were the products of a mutual pact between Nazi Dr. Joseph Mengele and Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin. The two apparently devised a plan to create mutated bodies that resembled human children and then place them into advanced aircraft meant to scare the United States into believing that alien invasions were taking place. The early Cold War plan ultimately failed. The craft crashed at Roswell and the US military covered it all up. Okay, number 3. Another theory originated from popular movies and books about alien hybrids, that is, half alien and half human children. The young adults book series Roswell High was adapted into a science fiction television series, Roswell. Number 4. Other theories claim that there exists a deal between humans and aliens. Notable abductions of both animals and humans apparently first started in the 1890s. We would supply the humans in order to regulate population control, which is outrageous, in exchange for alien technological advancements. This is supposedly the reason why people go missing all the time. Okay then, so what do we know for sure? Blame aliens for all of life's troubles. JK. Rather, the Roswell incident significantly and successfully added to the mysteriousness and secrecy of Area 51. What exactly had crashed at Roswell that was later transferred to the secretive military base of Area 51? A surveillance balloon? Alien craft? Mutated bodies designed by crazy humans? The world may never know.
Operation Majestic 12 was created to take charge of everything, including the crashed UFOs and the alien remnants that were recovered. It was created in 1947 by Harry Truman. It is the most secret out of all the intelligence groups and is above the National Security Agency and Central Intelligence Agency. As time passed, the operation evolved into MAGI, or the Majority Agency for Joint Intelligence. The main people involved in MAGI were known as Majority 12, interchangeable with Majestic 12. The Majority 12 was made up of Nelson Rockefeller, the Secretary of State John Foster Dulles, the Director of the CIA Alan Welsh Dulles, the Secretary of Defense Charles E. Wilson, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Admiral Arthur W. Radford, the Director of the FBI Edgar Hoover, and 6 men known as the Wise Men, who were members from the Executive Committee of the Council on Foreign Relations. Communication with the Greys had been achieved since 1964. Therefore, the humans took advantage and created trade agreements with the Greys. As part of their trade agreements, the U.S. will provide secret bases of operation in the U.S. Also, Magi agreed to conceal all knowledge of the Greys' presence. The Greys were given permission to abduct U.S. citizens as part of their medical experiments. The Greys were to provide Magi and the U.S. government with advanced technology. However, the technology could only be operated by the Greys because they were afraid of the technology may be used against them. Between 1979 and 1983, the plan backfired as the Greys abducted many more people that it became suspicious among citizens. Because of this, the Magi split into 2 factions. One faction confessed their schemes and how their plans backfired to the public. The other faction began to develop a weapon that could be used against the Greys. The creation of the weapon was under SDI or Star Wars program, a joint US-Soviet Union effort. It was never a defense mechanism against the Soviet Union but the Greys, because the Soviet Union was also fooled by the Greys with similar agreements. The US and USSR were actually secret allies since 1983 under their own SDI programs. To accomplish the true objectives of the SDI program, Magi created Project Zeus. The Magi imagined an angry Zeus throwing lightning bolts into space against an alien attack or deflected by mirrors against secret alien bases. However, the existence of Operation Majestic 12, the UFOs, aliens, and the secret bases were found out through the Freedom of Information Act.